You know the loop, the text you've replayed 10 times, the conversation you rehearse in your head, the worst-case scenarios that feel real. Your brain thinks overthinking keeps you safe, but it doesn't. It's not prepping you. It's stealing your calm, your sleep, your focus. Here's the hard truth. Overthinking isn't harmless. It's a silent blocker between you and the life you actually want. Awareness alone won't fix it. You need a plan. So let's stop spinning. If you're ready to break the loop, here are 7 practical tools to turn mental chaos into clear, intentional action. Science shows it works. Naming the thought, "This is worry, not weakness," calms your amygdala. It's not a personal flaw, it's just a stuck mental loop. Research by Koster and colleagues confirms that mindfulness-based techniques like thought labeling reduce rumination, with measurable effects in controlled studies. When you catch yourself spiraling, say it out loud or write it down. This is overthinking, not problem solving. Quick example. I'm not solving the argument with my friend. I'm just replaying it in my head. Why it works. Naming it creates distance. You become the observer, not the prisoner. That moment of recognition is small but powerful. It changes everything. This next game-changing tip takes only 2 minutes but has made a huge impact on my life. The decision filter. If it can be solved in 2 minutes, take action. If not, then note it, release it, and schedule time later if necessary. Here's some practical examples. Tidying a small mess. You're stressed thinking about the clutter on your desk. Action. Spend 2 minutes putting papers or items away. Phone calls. You're stressing about making an appointment. Action. Call them immediately. This is the worst one for me. I hate calling strangers on the phone and go out of my way to avoid it. I'll spend 10 minutes crafting an email for something that can be solved with a 30-second phone call. I'll check if I can book online rather than picking up the phone. But when I force myself to just pick up the phone and cross that item off my to-do list, I always feel better. It's a relief mechanism. Your brain stops nagging you once it sees you've acted. The next step is learning how to redirect your mind the moment it starts spinning. Enter the channel flip technique. Your mind can sometimes be like a TV stuck on the worry channel. You need the remote. When you catch yourself overthinking, physically shift your attention to something concrete. 3 quick flips. Count backwards from 100 by 7s. Spot 5 colors around you. Touch an object and describe it in 3 ways. Try it now. Pause the video and do one of these flips. Give your brain a break from the loop. Count, spot, or touch, and notice how your mind starts to settle. Go ahead. I'll wait. Why it works. Overthinking thrives on abstract loops. Sensory input breaks the pattern. Family example. Instead of replaying the argument with your sister, you shift to the feeling of water on your hands while washing dishes. The key, this isn't avoidance. It's a reset so you can return with clarity, not spin. Now that you have awareness, decision, and attention tools, let's build the structure that prevents the spiral from starting. The counterintuitive move. Give overthinking a designated time slot. 15 minutes once a day. Set a timer. Write down every worry, then close the notebook when the timer ends. Why it works. Your brain knows it has a scheduled outlet and stops interrupting you all day. Science shows that structured habit windows help retrain mental loops. Example, instead of obsessing about your performance review during lunch, you save it for your 7 p.m. worry window. The discipline. Outside that window, remind yourself, not now. I'll think about this at 7 p.m. Over time, the window shrinks because you're no longer feeding the habit all day, and you regain control over your mind. Call it what you want, a worry window, a thought parking lot, or whatever feels right. Just give your overthinking a scheduled place and time. Over time, your worry window shrinks because you're no longer feeding the habit all day, and suddenly, you're the one in control of your mind. But even with a scheduled outlet, some worries still feel huge in the moment, don't they? That's where this next skill comes into play. A simple set of questions that puts today's panic into a bigger picture so you can act instead of freeze. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 days, 5 months, 5 years? Example, that awkward thing you said on a date feels huge right now, but in 5 months, neither of you will even remember it. The recalibration. Most overthinking is about things that simply won't matter in a few days. When you catch yourself spiraling, say the 5-5-5 questions out loud to pull yourself back to perspective. Why it works. Perspective doesn't erase the problem, but it right-sizes it so you can act instead of freeze, worry instead of spinning. The brain dump. Write every worry, decision, or loop on paper. No editing, no structure. Just get it out. Why it works. Thoughts feel infinite in your head. On paper, they're finite and manageable. Your brain stops reminding you because the paper is now holding the information. Research by Pennebaker and Beal found that expressive writing, getting your worries out on paper, decreases repetitive negative thinking and improves emotional regulation. Family example. Instead of replaying the fight with your parents in your mind, you write, "I'm hurt because they dismissed my feelings." Once it's external, you can see which thoughts are actionable and which are just noise. Once you've slowed the spiral by putting it down in writing, the next question isn't, "What should I think?" It's, "Who do I want to be?" This last tool is where overthinking loses its grip, because you stop debating outcomes and start anchoring in values. It's about values-based decision-making. Here are the 2 key questions to ask yourself. The identity question. What kind of person do I want to be in this situation? The decision filter. Does this choice move me toward or away from that person? Here's a work example. Instead of obsessing over whether your coworker likes you, ask, do I want to be someone who seeks approval or someone who does good work? That shift changes everything. Why it works. Values create a stable anchor when emotions and thoughts are chaotic. You stop overthinking because you're no longer guessing. You're following a clear internal compass. Here's a dating example. After a small disagreement, you're obsessing about whether to text first. Ask, do I want to be someone who plays games or someone who communicates honestly? The answer becomes obvious. This is the deeper shift. These aren't just techniques. They're the foundation for a different relationship with your mind. Start with one tool. Name it to tame it is the easiest entry point. Layer in the others as you build confidence. Over time, you're not just managing overthinking, you're redirecting it. You stop just spotting red flags and start planting green ones. Pick one tool to use today, just one. Which positive skill are you building first? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more psychology that builds skills instead of just awareness, subscribe. This channel is for people ready to grow, not just know.